going to be a 20-minute race, of course, for the RLM Racing Bikesports Championship. Rolling start, and it's going to be a spectacular race, I'm sure. The green, number 77 then for Charles Hall. The 58, the red car of Anthony Ayres. Then you've got the grey and green 35 for Richard Webb. And then next to him, it is the 99 car of Martin Brooks, the black and red car. So watch out for those. 20 minutes ahead of us. All of them will be on slick tyres this time, although there was a bit of a split earlier on. Safety car, the Renault Megane has pulled in. 20 minutes of racing for the RLM Racing Bikesports Championship about to get underway. All nice and tightly bunched. And now the lights go out and away they go. It's a good start by Martin Brooks, a very good start by Martin Brooks. He was alongside and is into the lead of the race. He's got ahead of Charles Hall right at the beginning of the race, but Hall is a little bit late on the brakes into Rich's corner. Then he runs out a bit wide on the exit, but I think Hall has managed to hold on from Brooks there. Yes, he has. So they go up to Wilson hairpin with number 77, Charles Hall, leading. Number 99, Martin Brooks in second, and it's Richard Wells up into third place in number 22, ahead of Anthony Ayres, 58, and Richard Webb, 35 in fifth.
Wells has come from row 4 of the grid. That's an amazing start from him. Really is. And he can actually still beat Michael Chen in the Class B Championship, I reckon. So that may be one just to keep an eye on in this race. And he's really up for it, isn't he? Getting the lead of the category immediately ahead of their Richard Webb and Anthony Ayres, who's struggling to get his car turned in to the Agostini hairpin. Not a good start from Michael Chen. He's gone somewhat backwards. But Charles Hall, was he a bit shocked to see Martin Brooks get in alongside and ahead of him briefly, but he managed to quickly get back in front. But he has got a battle on. Now there is his main championship rival for the overall championship, that being Michael Chen. There's Richard Webb, engine builder, isn't he? Sponsor of the championship, RML Racing, and he is battling with Anthony Ayres. Here, Michael Chen is battling with the Class A car of Andrew Kimpton. There's the Class B leader. That is Richard Wells, yet to win this season within Class B, but he's leading at the moment as they turn their way to the end of the first lap.
Yep, so heading through the bomb hole and quorum now in this 20-minute race. Earlier on in damp conditions, we got 10 laps out of it. Probably get a little bit more than that this time. Wells then just ahead of Webb, but Webb right in the toe and is going to pull alongside. I think they head along the centre straight as Charles Hall and Martin Brooks, the first two, go past. But Webb in third place now has got his nose in front, but they are absolutely wheel to wheel. But Webb just about hangs on. Wells, I think, backed out of that a little bit. So Webb it is that goes through and takes the position.
I think Richard Wells had to win this race if he's got any chance of the Class B title. So he fought hard, didn't he? But Richard Webb, more experienced driver, gets ahead. It was very tight between the two, though, wasn't it? Into Richard, very close to rushing one another, but they managed to avoid that, and Webb goes through then to the lead of the class. With Ayres in third and Michael Chen fourth. So Chen doing enough to win Class B championship, but the overall title looks to be going in the direction of Charles Hall, who's pulled out a 1.6 second lead.
It does look that way, doesn't it? But can't speak too soon.
Done that already today, haven't we?
we have, and it's dangerous. So there is Webb, 35 in the SR3. And he is making pretty serene progress now. He's up into third position. There is the overview, really, as you look at the cars head on down the Bentley Straight. You've seen Hall, you've seen Brooks go through.
Because of the drop score that Charles Hall can get, even if something does go wrong, Michael Chen needs to make progress. Really, to the lead, I think. I think a second with fastest lap would be enough if Charles Hall did have any kind of problems.
But it's not really looking likely at the minute, is it? It's going to rely on other people having problems, I think, looking at the way things have gone over the first lap or so for Michael Chen in fourth position, seventh place overall as well. So I think it's very much Charles Hall's to lose this. Over the line go the first two, then Webb in third, Wells in fourth.
So first flying lap, we're about a second away from the lap record. Interestingly, the lap record here is with a Class B car, isn't it? When Stefano Lini was racing, now a Formula 3 racer. 151.4, what was that, 3 or so years ago?
Yeah, 2017 it was, that record he set.
So I wonder if Charles Hall can beat that today.
Class A record is actually 154.87, so that's gone, hasn't it? That was Joe Locke 2 years ago. Joe Locke's the car that Joe Locke raced is in this race, I think, isn't it? In the hands of Andrew Kimpton.
Indeed. I'm sure Charles Hall would like the overall lap record if he could get it. But like I say, that is a Class A lap record, of course. Now, Mike Chen has caught Anthony Ayres quite rapidly, and he's going through on the inside line. Is he trying to? And they run wheel to wheel, and he does go ahead. So that is third for Chen. But he's still not lapping quicker than Webb or Wells, is he? This has been a good day for Richard Wells because he only had 2 podiums before today.
Yeah.
And out of the regulars, he's a long way ahead of Anthony Ayres and Mike Chen, because of course Richard Webb not a regular. And there is Chen, 91 then, the Class B championship leader. And there is his J, Anthony Ayres, that's for 5th and 6th.
Well, indeed there. Again, interesting and difficult conditions that we had that day. So they are making their way through and down towards the left-hander at the moment, just hidden behind the Armco. Briefly, that's the 73 car of Alistair Smart. And just behind him is the 20 car of Matt Moore. So Matt Moore qualified better than he's raced, I suggest, because he qualified 6th and he's dropped back down into 9th position.
Not sure we've seen Matt Moore out before. Not sure what his prior experience is, but perhaps now it's dry, learning how to use aero. Is new to him, so that is something to factor in now it's dry. When the wet, you don't have to worry so much about it, and trust in the aero, particularly on some quick corners around here at Snetterton, is something to get used to if you haven't experienced it before. So that battle is good, isn't it? These 4 cars being led by Andrew Kimpton and Alistair Smart, the 2 Class A machines, and Matt Moore and James Barwell, 2 Class B cars, the PR6s ahead of the SR3s.
12 minutes or so to go in this race.
Another fastest lap for Martin Brooks.
Yes.
And he's bringing that gap down to Charles Hall, 151.84, 4 tenths away from that lap record for Stefano Lini. And actually, Richard Webb is kind of going with them on that pace, isn't he? 152.1, so he's also lapping quicker than Charles Hall.
Yeah, and certainly he's getting away from Richard Wells, isn't he, in the Class B lead in that battle, because there's 9 seconds between them now.
Wells is being caught by Chen, isn't he? So Mike Chen could get second out of this yet. 5 seconds still, though, is the gap. So he has got some more chasing to do, but he is lapping over a second, a lap faster. So 1.4 seconds, Hall to Brooks. He's certainly a gap coming down. What, 6 tenths on the last lap for Martin Brooks. We're not halfway through this yet. So Martin Brooks would like to get his 3rd win of the season. We saw him win here in the opening round on the 200 circuit. He won the first race at Silverstone 2.
Good little scrap going on here. Ian Charles just getting ahead of the 8 car of David Craham there. And up into 12th position, therefore, as a result of that. Just ahead of both of them is number 30, Mark Grayson. So we've got the SR3, the PR6 and the Pro Sport all together there. There's Graham in the 8 car. Regular in things like Castle Coombe GT as well, and Bikesports and Saloons. We've seen him in a variety of different cars over the years.
That is James Barwell, who's 10th, chasing Matt Moore, who in turn, the pair of them are chasing the 2 PR6s. Meanwhile, there's been a change for the lead, because across the line goes Martin Brooks ahead of Charles Hall, and another fastest lap of the race for Martin Brooks, 151.82, a slow lap for Charles Hall. So out of shot, change for the overall lead, puts Martin Brooks in front, and could this start to open up a championship battle at all, do you think?
Well, it could do, couldn't it? Because it means that all of a sudden Hall is not able, or appears not able to pick up maximum points from this race, but with Michael Chen equally in 3rd position still within Class B, he's not doing enough, I don't think, is he? But I guess the question is if Hall falls any further back, then he's got to fall a long way back, hasn't he? Sort of loses out potentially to Brooks in the points.
Yes, he's got a lot of Class B cars behind, so as long as he can keep going, that's okay. Mike Chen might get 3rd from Richard Wells, but assuming Richard Webb continues okay, nothing further is going to go wrong, going to go on there. So as long as Charles Hall can carry on, he should be okay.
I think if it stays this way, then Chen would finish 3rd in the championship behind Hall and Brooks, separated by a point.
Change here for what is 3rd, actually, in Class A. Alistair Smart up the inside of the similar car of Andrew Kimpton. That's 7th overall. And Matt Moore was trying to buy into that. He was getting alongside Kimpton too, but the PR6 stays ahead of the SR3, in fact. But the change did happen there for Alistair Smart ahead of Andrew Kimpton.
9 minutes to go. Martin Brooks then leading the race now by 3/4 of a second at the start of the lap. We'll see if he's edged out any further, but certainly with the point he'll get for fastest lap as well, then he'll be in a position where he's going to finish just 1 point behind Charles Hall by my reckoning. So we've got 6 starters in Class A, which is the minimum that we need to have for everyone to get maximum points. So we don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, I didn't really realise it was quite so close between Brooks and Hall.
Well, you don't realise until they sort of swap positions, because that's then effectively a bigger swing than you realise. It's an 8-point swing.
Martin Brooks has just done the lap record, has he not?
Yes.
151.15. He's really flying now, isn't he?
Gap 3.22 seconds over Charles Hall. So, and Hall lapping a bit slower than he has been. So I don't know whether he's got a problem or whether he realises what he needs to do for the championship. I'm not quite sure. It's a risky strategy if that's the case.
Because it's one thing dropping off the pace, but then dropping 3 seconds in just a couple of laps.
Yeah, so Brooks there in 3rd, and on that lap actually in 2nd, Richard Webb in 3rd, but 4/10 faster than Charles Hall as well. We're watching the number 10 car, and that is James Barwell, who started at the back of the grid that the car shared. So he started at the back and has made up a little bit of ground up into 10th position. And just ahead of him we've got Andrew Kimpton and Matt Moore, and there is the 10 car at the rear of that trio.
Martin Brooks has got a 2-point penalty as well from earlier in the season, hasn't he? And that is what Mike Walt calls losing the championship.
Effectively, yes, it could do, couldn't it? Yeah.
Not sure. Was that Alton Park who got that? Not sure. Or was he a number of the drivers that got penalties at Silverstone?
May have been. I'm not completely certain of that, I must admit.
But whatever, that is going to be the thing that loses him the title by the looks of it.
Potentially, and that would be frustrating, wouldn't it?
Richard Wells has almost been caught by Michael Chen as well, so that could be a change before the end. So Michael Chen now only a second behind Richard Wells in front of this battle that's still going strong for 7th. Alistair Smart at the head of it.
And if we finish this way, both Martin Brooks and Charles Hall have had 3 wins. And it's interesting that they're both drivers that have come into Bikesports over the past couple of years, having raced different categories within the 750 Motor Club in the past. Had a bit of a break and come back. Charles Hall in Sports Specials, and Martin Brooks a bit longer ago than that in what was then RGB, is now Sports 1000.
Martin Brooks has gone another 100th of a second quicker. I'm sure it was a 51.11 before, now it's a 1 minute 51.10 to set another lap record And now he's 6.5 seconds ahead of Charles Hall. Surely that is not Charles Hall's real pace.
And now Charles Hall only 2 seconds ahead of Richard Webb and lapping about 2 seconds a lap slower. I mean, they're in different classes, so from that point of view, it doesn't really matter in terms of the point situation. But nevertheless, it's maybe a problem for Hall, a bigger problem than we realised. There is the 20 car of Matt Moore then going through in 9th place, just behind him James Barwell, number 10.
I think Richard Webb is showing us what a Class B can do in an overall order as well, isn't he, when you do get a top driver in one of those cars.
And Joe Staples has shown us this as well, hasn't he, in recent seasons.
And of course, you go back to that Stefano Lini lap record as well, so there's a number of drivers that have done it. Here is that battle, isn't it? Wells v Chen for second within the class.
So Chen in the white car, which you could barely see, just dipping out of the slipstream, bit of moving around being done by Wells, and Chen unable to make a move into Brundle and Nelson with 5 minutes of the race left to go. So Chen trying to do everything that he can to put himself in the strongest possible position to win the championship. I don't think it's going to go his way though.
Meanwhile, across the line, nose to tail for second. So Richard Webb has caught the really struggling Charles Hall. He's into the 56s now. That's 5 seconds slower than the leader.
So I think always the side-by-side in the battle for second in Class B. It's Chen going to be on the outside line, and they're almost touching 2 or 3 times there along the centre straight. Up they go into Rich's corner, and it's well still ahead at the moment, but that was really close, wasn't it, Josh?
I think a little too close. I think that was aggressive defending. Was it necessary defending? I don't think really was. It kept weaving across the circuit like that, but they got away with it. Michael Chen had 2 wheels on the grass at one point, 2 tyres on the grass, but they did get away with it. But that kind of driving not necessarily what Motorsport UK are looking for, is it?
It was effective. Anyway, down to Agostini they go. 4 minutes of the race remaining. Michael Chen will have to have another go and try and find a way past Richard Wells, but I think he's got the message it's not going to be easy. Chen there in 4th over, well, it was 4th overall on the line because it was 100th ahead of Wells as they crossed the line. He's 5th on the road though at the moment with 3.5 minutes of the race left to go.
Now, I wonder if Richard Webb's got himself ahead of Charles Hall, because he was right with him at the end of 8 laps. I say Charles Hall now lapping actually slower than these 2 as well. So whether he's nursing a drama.
Black and white driving standards flag being shown to somebody. You can see it out of our window. I'm not sure who that is.
Martin Brooks completes 9 laps. We're going to get 11 out of this one, aren't we, with the base of the dry conditions. So who's second across the line? It is Webb. Charles Hall only crosses the line now, so 58 now. Something's not right, is there, with Charles Hall's car? Yeah,
it's letting him down, but hopefully not in too serious a way here.
Yeah, the lack of competition is a rather blessing for him, isn't it?
It is, but he's got to bring it home. That's the thing.
And we haven't really seen a challenge from Michael Chen, have we? Whether he thinks it's not worth it after what happened a lap ago.
Yeah, he may have decided that discretion is the better part of valour here. A couple of laps to go now. I think it's going to be an 11-lap race, isn't it? Looking at it.
Yes.
So 40 slaw car of 22. Richard Wells there in 4th place. And Michael Chen, number 91, in 5th. They've both pulled out quite a long way from Anthony Ayres, number 58, in 6th position. The black and white driving standards flag is for Richard Webb, I'm told. So the Class B leader, 2nd place overall driver, he's getting the driving standards flag, so if he does that again, could be into track limits penalty territory.
Michael Chen's still pretty close to Richard Wells, isn't he? Whether he's going to have another go at this. He's getting closer, like he is keen to get 4th position away. They turn their way through Williams. And runs a bit wide though, out over the curbs. Maybe not in his plan.
Here they come down the straight again. Chen tucks in behind Richard Wells. And this time not the moving about that we saw a couple of laps ago, not necessary. I think Chen just tucking in behind. Martin Brooks has gone across the line again to complete lap 10. He's got onto his final lap now. And it's a longer gap back to second, which is Richard Webb, 16.5 seconds. Then Charles Hall goes across the line now. We can see from our window, and the gap back to him is another 8 seconds behind Webb. It was a 1:59, so every lap is getting slower than the previous one, isn't it?
He's got to do one more, though, hasn't he?
Yes.
Michael Chen, he's keeping close to Richard Wells, isn't he? Keeping him under pressure, but not actually going for a move, which really does make you wonder if what happened earlier has put him off trying. So it's Brooks, Webb, Hall, Wells, Chen, the top 5. Anthony Ayres is 6th. Alistair Smart and Andrew Kimpton are continuing their battle for what is 3rd within Class A. Then Matt Moore and James Barwell complete the top 10. Across the line goes Smart, still ahead of Kimpton, but they were pretty close. They were very close, in fact, just 1/10 of a second between the two of them. On the screens, you can see the Richard Wells and Michael Chen battle continuing between the two SR3s. But here is Martin Brooks and Ian looking for his 3rd victory.
Yeah, so that will put him level in terms of race wins with Charles Hall, who had his 3rd earlier on, and it will take him to a total after drop scores of 88 points. But we reckon that Charles Hall is going to get 89 points by the time he's brought the car home. But there is Brooks then, out of Murray's, up towards the line. Checkered flag is made ready. And Martin Brooks wins at Snetterton in the 8th and final round of the RLM Racing Bikesports Championship. And a convincing win. It has been 2 in the end. He set the fastest lap, the lap record as well, a 1:51.10, which is 96.21 miles an hour. It's an absolutely fantastic pace that he set in this race. So it should be 2nd place to Richard Webb, and it is. He goes across the line, wins Class B as well. One of the back markers comes through next. But then 3rd should be, I think, Charles Hall. Here's the battle still going on for 2nd place within Class B. Charles Hall crosses the line now, and he has done enough, we reckon, unofficially, to take the championship this year. Richard Wells comes across the line 4th. 5th is Michael Chen, 3rd in Class B. He will win the Class B championship, I reckon. Although sadly not the overall title that may have been his at the start of the day. 6th across the line goes the 58 car of Anthony Ayres, who did his personal best lap right at the end at 1:55.09. Charles Hall, by the way, into the 2-minute ones on the final lap, but still enough for 2nd place in Class A. 7th and 8th over the line now. That's Alistair Smart and Andrew Kimpton. 9th is number 20, Matt Moore, and then I think we should have James Barwell across the line now to round out the top 10 finishers. But well, a great drive there from Martin Brooks, and in its own way, probably a great drive from Charles Hall as well to bring the car home.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if we can hear from him whether that was purposeful lap time drop-off.
Or just not to that level.
It's quite an extreme lack of pace, isn't it, for somebody that's trying to win the championship, because you always hear drivers say it's easier to keep pushing on than to drive at a slower pace. You end up making a stupid mistake that you don't want to be doing. But whatever the case is, Charles Hall does come home, we believe, with the Bikesports Championship by just 1 point. We said it was close going into the day, didn't we? And with a win each for him and Martin Brooks, that is how it finishes. And if it was an issue for Charles Hall, he's glad that the likes of Josh Smith and Scott Mattel were not out there, because they certainly would have been able to get ahead of him.
Well, I can see that garlands are being hooplaed over the neck of Martin Brooks, who has taken the win. So we'll get the drivers and Matt Suckling into position. It is a little like herding cats, getting race drivers into the position where you can interview them, where the camera's set up. But I think we're heading in that general direction now. So let's head down now to Matt Suckling for the penultimate time today, and he'll talk to Martin Brooks.
Thanks very much, Ian. Yep, down here with our race winner then from that 2nd bike sport race, which is Martin Brooks. Martin, many congratulations. Good win there. How was the drive for you?
Yeah, thanks. It was, it's great to win in the last race of the year. The RG Motorsport guys have worked so hard all year to get us back on the grid after quite a long gap. and there's nothing like taking a checkered flag. So, I mean, I made a pretty decent start, and but Charles just got the jump. He runs slightly softer tyres, and I just kept my head down, and I thought I might catch him up. It looks like he had a bit of a problem towards the end. So, so not much of a race, but the pace in the car was pretty decent. And I said, great to finish with a win at the end of the season.
It's been a strange year, but 3 wins out of this season, not too bad.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's 4 race weekends, and they don't all go brilliantly. But I really enjoyed my first year back after such a long gap. So I'm looking forward to next year.
Martin, well done. Good luck for 2021.
Thanks a lot.
There we go, race winner then from the Bikesports Championship, which is Martin Brooks. Try and grab Charles Hall, which is just having congratulations, because I think he's just been given the news now. So we'll see if we can grab Charles. Can you come over here and join us very quickly? He's got his mask on, so we'll grab a win with our third place man within that race. Charles, we understand you've just received the news there, all provisional, but champion for the 2020 season.
Couldn't be happier, yeah. It's a really good feeling to what's been a difficult year for many people, and I just want to say thank you to everyone on my side, and the guys that have just put the time and the effort in, and my dad, Joy, and the lads, Matt, Tristan. Honestly, Jack, my little stepbrother, that's like my media man, he's brilliant. But no, we wanted to finish on a high, and the car was absolutely flying at the beginning, and then I could just started a few laps in, just started to feel it going off and off and off, and anyway the tyre's blown up, but it's like you can squish it to nothing. So I just nursed whatever's happened to the tyre. It got me to the end now.
What must have been going through your head at that point, because you knew the championship was on a balance, you had to get to the finish for the points?
That's what I mean. So, I knew a few of the cars I'm not racing, and and I didn't have to race Martin for it, and we did enough this morning to be able to just coast and give it that little bit of a breather. And I think a few years ago I'd have probably pushed it and blown the tyre. And this year I just thought a little bit longer, and I'm like, just come on, car. I'm like tapping it. I'm thinking, come on, please, just get me there. Anyway, brilliant. Chuffed a bit.
Despite the problems, great results this weekend. Charles, many congratulations on the 2020 championship.
Yeah, thank you. And you guys do an amazing job. It's brilliant to watch back.
No problem. Thanks very much. Charles Hall then, our first champion of the weekend, and it comes from the Bikesports Championship. I'm sure there'll be more tomorrow to look forward to. But here today we've got one more race on the cards, and it's back to the Hot Hatch Championship. And Ian and Josh, back to you.